Right. Let's see what that does. So, who's Foley? If you have any Foley responsibility involving the table, you want to go over the Foley table, please?
Yes. Can we just take 1 second? Cameron Nottingham has the announcement.
Please.
Hello everyone, yes, I'm very excited to be working here. We're going to get these mics hopefully
Cameron.
going. Just a couple announcements about the mics. As Professor Lemieux said yesterday, they're very expensive. We want to keep them nice. Because of the nature of us having to tear down the show every night, I can't completely gaff down the DMX cable on the floor, so I've tried as best where there's a clear footpath to not. But for those of you who are going to be working in center space, just please, please, please be careful to, one, not trip. Your safety is important. You know, these mics are expensive, but you're more expensive, so don't trip and hurt yourself. And then, secondly, I still care about the mics. So I still care about the mics, so also try not to step directly on the cables, because that does wear them out over time. And then just generally watch where you're going, because I don't want to take a stand down with the mic on it. But other than that, I think that's about it. So thank you.
We will be probably adjusting locations and places. I think we're going to need to move where our chorus is, right? Because I think what we want is we want our 4 primary peoples here, and then the chorus here, right? So we've got 5, 5, 5, right? So we need to rearrange in a distance way, right?
Yeah.
And it may need be that these need to get a little more that way,
Yep.
these a little more that way, or maybe these all go a little this way to get more
Yeah.
distance between Foley table.
Yeah.
You guys see where the mic is on the Foley table, yeah?
Yep.
So just, I'm assuming these are not waterproof microphones.
They're not.
Step on these.
Just be
How are we gonna do the big underwater?
See the Foley person.
Didn't think of that.
So Cameron, maybe what we should do to start is just have me listen and we can start just mucking around.
I sent you a link to a live stream.
Not the whole time, though. Well, ooh. That's a good question, actually, because we didn't want to step in it. Let's see. You had a long day?
Business. You're a DJ It's like
It's a good experience.
It's not a good experience.
You like to play? It's not a good experience yet. When it's over, you can say you did it. Then you'll be one of 2 people in our class that have done it, I think.
Sir, can we get it so that Cameron can hear me or something?
It's a rehearsal?
Sam, my headphones.
not a problem, but there we go.
That and I found the coolest sailor song. It's another thing. That song makes me fun, dude. That song's awesome.
Well,
I was blasting sea shanty this morning.
Listen to some Wellerman.
If I could, if I could like have some oranges so I don't get scurvy, I would just go back in time and do it better and just be singing sea shanties.
They had the life, they just got wasted on the boat all day.
you could talk to Ben about it. You could say, hey, I know you're committed to it.
Oh no, I'm getting stressed now.
Sits on a bunch of Jersey wheel, all talented and successful.
It's causing me stress.
critical thought.
This is all of like my software.
It's your last chance, man.
What's the
Yes.
idea?
No, wherever you go, listen, no, wherever you go after you graduate, people aren't gonna care about you enough to make fun of you. So please share with us so we can enjoy one of these one last
One
time.
second, I need to set that
Well,
up.
speaking of,
Ever fallen in love? She fallen in love with her. I'll do my part for the band scene, plus the audience will go, isn't this great?
oh my gosh, do you remember when
I was waiting for
Kathleen's
one of the
mom?
ladies to stroke my
That was Kathleen's mom.
That was who's
That was Mrs. Bloom.
I don't know who it is.
Oh, well.
Kathleen Blue, whatever it is.
Were you able to hear that at all?
Okay.
That makes it funnier.
There's some old lady stroking my leg.
She's not that old, but
Relative.
Like happened
she's like, okay, this is actually really funny. This is my favorite story about her.
I'll just join
One
the
time
Zoom
Kathleen
meeting
and
and
I
meet
were
you.
talking about careers because we have to go back to do that. And Mrs. Blue looked and she's like, what are we talking about? And we're like, careers. And she's like,
Yeah.
do you guys know?
Yeah, just pause. Before we get too deep into the story,
I
what
need
did I
to
sign up for?
fully understand the foundation of this essay.
And what is that?
Wait, so it is interesting.
So we were talking about periods.
About what?
The what?
Say it with
Oh,
your chest.
I thought you were talking about something
Periods.
else.
Menstrual cycle.
I was talking about something else.
Order of business.
I've never
Maybe the first order of
No,
operations.
but they are real. I have heard of them.
Get this left, right, center.
Wikipedia
Make sure
says
that's working
that.
correctly.
Apparently women have bodies that
Alright, continue.
I'm sorry.
Talking about menstrual cycles, Beth comes in.
Cameron's on it right now.
She's like, what are you talking about? We're like, period. And she's like,
Oh, I
you
thought she
guys-
said something totally different at the start of this conversation.
yes?
Stand where child stands.
What?
Please get ready. We're about to set them up.
Oh, okay, I'll grab my script.
Everybody, please be ready for me to yell quiet. We need everyone to be quiet. Not now, we'll keep talking, but we might, in a few minutes, I might just yell quiet. So
I'm
don't
just
be
wondering
quiet.
what
Okay, so it's the third option, you just naturally learn science and reading like that. Yeah. Not never been Iceland. Most Iceland I've ever been was when I was like 7 and my mom would be like, go do that. I'd be in my room for like 3 hours. But then I went to high school and in high school
Haven't seen your
with my
mouth in a
friends, I just think
minute.
about the wheel in the sky.
Let's just stare at each other's mouth.
Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and say it.
Charming.
Folklore, 10 times better than Evermore. Changed my mind.
Folklore.
Ah, I hate
Folklore,
Taylor Swift with her
it has
raging
more
passion.
variety.
I think you're right.
More thought went into it.
And Jane Austen.
It's shorter.
Are you
Evermore is
also?
just long.
Are we debating, what are we debating
I
between?
Cameron, let's go.
Excuse you, picture to burn.
I can't get into anything.
Fearless.
Yeah.
Quiet, please. And can you talk into the microphones?
Do you want me to say lines or just talk? Does it matter?
Cameron, what would you like?
Line, please.
Okay. Leaving my gold-clad palace, marriage chamber of Darius and my own, his queen I'm come. Care quite grates my heart. I fear my friends, though not fearful for myself, lest great wealth's gallop trip prosperity, exalted by Darius and some god in its own dust. But unexpectedly that dread has doubled. Sums of cowardly wealth do court contempt, and indigence quenches ambition's flame, even if their strength. Though wealth we have unstinted, yet fear is for mine eye Xerxes, whose presence here I count the palace eye. So things stand thus. Advise my reason, Persians, old sureties. All my gains with your counsel lie. Ba 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 ba.
Hold. Can you move from left to center to right when you're saying your lines, please? So can you do that?
You want me to physically do that as I do the? Oh, so that he can hear them all. Okay, sweet. Okay, I will do my best. Leaving my gold-clad palace, marriage chamber of Darius, and my own, his queen I'm come. Care quite grates my heart. I fear, my friends, though not fearful for myself, lest great wealth's gallop trip prosperity, exalted by Darius and some god in its own dust. But unexpectedly, that dread has doubled. Sums of cowardly wealth do court contempt, and indigence quenches ambition's flame, even if there's strength. The wealth we have, unstinted, yet fear is for mine eyes, Xerxes, whose presence here I count the palace I. So things stand thus. Advise my reason, Persians, old sureties. All my gains with your counsel lie.
Cameron, are you getting the difference? Kyle says he's not really.
Yeah, I am.
He is. He is. Sir.
Hold on. Let's do this. And say your line into that mic.
Which line again, sir?
This one?
No, that one.
That one.
Yeah.
Leaving my gold-clad palace, marriage chamber of Darius and my own, his queen I'm come. Care quite grates my heart. I fear my friends, though not fearful for myself, lest great wealth's gallop trip prosperity, exalted by Darius and some god in its own dust. But unexpectedly that dread has doubled. Sums of cowardly wealth do court contempt, and indigence quenches ambition's flame, even if there's strength. The wealth we have,
Can you hold?
Ask Kyle if he was only hearing that through his right ear, because he should have only heard that through his right ear.
Did you only hear that through your right ear, sir? Through both? He heard it through both.
Are his headphones equipped for stereo?
Are your Bluetooth headphones equipped for stereo, sir? That's a good question.
Because literally on the board, I changed it so it only is channeling through right, just to test
He
it.
said not sure, to be honest.
Okay. Here, I can test it real quick, just to see if it's.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
on that. Give me 2 minutes.
Cameron's gonna test it on his own computer with the stream.
Headphones are stereo,
Yeah.
for sure. Just
you. Hi guys.
And, 1 minute, Professor, we're, Cameron's testing it with his headphones to make sure that it, is working.
What is he?
I don't know. He wants you to move around.
Oh, okay.
only talk to them.
Don't move, just this?
Yeah.
Okay. Leaving my gold-clad palace, marriage chamber of Darius and my own, his queen I'm come. Care quite grates my heart. I fear my friends, though not fearful for myself, lest great wealth's gallop. Yes, good.
It's working on my end, so it must be his headphones.
Okay. It's working on his end with the stream, sir. It's working just from the left. With his headphones, I should say. If he wants to hear it, Cameron.
What?
He wants to hear it.
Yeah.
No, he wants to hear what it sounds like.
Okay.
I guess, does anyone have another pair of stereo headphones with them?
They're Bluetooth though.
You know they're stereo. Can you just?
Yes.
Do you, what? Can you just tell me to listen to it? That might be what he's doing. I'm just asking so that Cameron also can hear. Oh, I see what you're doing. I got it.
I don't want a lot for Christmas. Into the void. Into the unknown. Thank you.
Worst case scenario, they just do it.
Quiet in the building!
Few lines, we center, walk right.
Do you want me to walk back and forth? Okay.
Oh, do you want me to live stream here? Okay.
Leaving my gold-clad palace, marriage chamber of Darius and my own, his queen I'm come. I fear, my friends, though not fearful for myself, lest great wealth's gallop trip prosperity, exalted by Darius and some god in its own dust. But unexpectedly that dread has doubled. Sons of cowardly wealth do court contempt, and indigence quenches ambition's flame, even if there's strength. Though wealth we have unstinted, yet fear is for mine eye Xerxes, whose presence here I count a palace eye. So things stand thus. Advise my reason, Persians, old sureties, all my gains with your counsel lie.
It's great. It's like you're walking behind me.
Woo!
It's really cool. Yeah, really, really neat. Great. Can we powwow in here for a minute?
Yeah.
Just gonna talk about some technical. Everybody relax.
Anyway, Charlie, I believe you're forgetting.
And can you do Into the Unknown in a Stitch voice?
No!
The question. I can't. I listened to it a lot, so a little error in the space down here. I don't know if that's okay. And this is like it's higher on the top part. Yeah, or just go down.
Probably, but I don't know.
It's just
I
it's so
know, it's like, it gets so moist. It gets so moist. Yeah, I'm sure. It's okay. It's gonna be fine.
It's a really good.
What I was saying is like, I already hit the point where I was like, oh my god, and now I'm
Whip this up.
like, whatever, dude. Just going a little cray cray. Well,
that like if I'm not taking it all.
This is the music that builds the bridge.
I mean, that's what they were singing when they got here. That's on their way.
There might take one for this one. I had some week in a row.
Yeah, you
and
said
I lost
ideal.
We thought we had bed, but
No,
like,
John,
we
no.
like something happened. It was just like every single turn they got in. You're like, why? And then you survive. You know?
Yeah. Like it's never.
No, dog. I could like go down
But luckily,
like MacArthur Avenue and I could find managers and CEOs that make money.
I'm just mad because I just got
Like there's only one guy doing that. I'm not gonna make it myself.
It's so frustrating.
I'm not gonna make it my life goal to be
But,
an activist for it.
There's a couple now.
It's just
If the country ended,
my roommates kept thinking
which would never
oh,
happen.
because my name is this.
Probably the most competitive job title in the country. This would never happen, but I mean, the machine gun shells, they came in.
Hey, no one talk trash on MGK.
Oh, we were talking
Maybe drop
about,
some flowers.
yeah, but we were talking about
I don't
his
do it
funeral.
here.
MGK's?
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
When Eminem
You know
killed
what,
him.
sue me. MGK's better than Eminem. Hey, sue me.
Damn, those are bold words.
Dude, Eminem did No.
But,
Are you sure about that? Four.
There it goes.
Nick Miller from New Girl dated Megan
Oh my
Fox
gosh.
on the show. It's not a big deal, Charlie.
it's a monster.
Have you ever watched New Girl? Oh, Charlie.
It's gone.
Watch New Girl.
Shit.
Might be funniest show
Imagine.
ever.
I already killed one living
Oh, I've always wanted a top hat.
It would be
I
constant.
killed Franklin.
What?
The flea that we experimented on in lab.
How'd you kill him?
I also killed his predecessor.
If I could go into the world of a movie
Except
and
George
kill
No
any
one
fictional
asked you.
character, I would beat Grandpa Joe really well.
That's actually what I think. And then Josh and I had an actual argument.
I beat
about
the
Grandpa
shit
Joe.
out of Grandpa Joe.
You just cut off his legs.
Fuck.
Oh, you're gonna pretend to be crippled so that your daughter has to take care of everything? Well, no, you actually are crippled.
Exactly.
Suck his toe.
Fuck Grandpa Joe, man.
Oh, that's
I went off about Grandpa Joe one day, and MC was like, "Hey, Robert's got some feelings for Grandpa Joe."
I just wanted to
should we take? What page are we on?
67?
Okay, so unmute yourself and tell her where we're at. Or she has the live feed, right?
She does not yet. We said we saw this. So did you send me the Zoom link?
Oh, no, we're.
Yeah, you're on page 67, correct?
I can feed her the audio right now.
Sorry, we wanna do what we want. I forget whether it was the live feed or not, sorry.
So I'm sending her the raw audio. The live audio from the, and we're gonna get feedback now because. Okay, she should be hearing the live audio from the entire space from the mics. Yeah, is that the case?
Whoa.
Yeah, so those speakers need to turn off, because now I'm feeding directly into the.
Turned up.
Okay. Anna, can you hear us? Oh, she can't respond now, that's.
But I did see her mouth.
Okay.
Yeah, she said I could hear you.
Okay, cool, so now she's getting the live audio.
Oh, Hannah, the great and powerful. Sam, the even greater and slightly less powerful. Can you give us a cue for Hannah to go, for us to go from?
Yeah.
Maybe we start like a line or two before Hannah's little solo dance number. And the goal here is to see if it's possible for us to just do this just by watching Hannah's well-articulated lip movement.
Adam, can we go from your desiring each on the bottom of page 66?
Yes, Sam.
Sophia can't hear me. Wait, it doesn't matter. She doesn't know where we're
She
going to
can
do
hear
it.
you.
Sophia can hear me?
Anyone who's on the Zoom can hear you.
Sophia, don't worry about doing your lines. I'm going to do it for this part because that just adds way too much.
We still care deeply for you.
Yes. Are you guys ready? Yes. Cameron, are you ready? Whenever you're ready.
Desiring each him to behold.
Wedding but lately, couches forsaking, soft as their coverlets. Where's Raven? Can we go back then?
Got it.
Raymond, I need your on your line, please.
What page is it?
67.
Okay.
From desiring. On your cue, Sam.
Handy, you ready to go again? We're gonna do it one more time. Cool. Peter, can you also do your soft as their coverlets? Thank you. Whenever you're ready, Al.
Desiring each him to behold.
Wedded but lately, couches forsaking.
Soft as their coverlets.
Their sorrows insatiate woe.
And I the pion's song recite.
Doom of the gone.
Woe upon woe.
So left here, thank you. Is that good? Keep going.
Are we gonna do a Hannah line?
We did.
Did Hannah
Can we go back? Do that again, please?
You won't hear.
Raymond, please watch the screen for when she's done speaking to start your line.
I can mix that.
Adam, can you start us off again? Hannah, we're going again. Okay. Are you guys, Cameron, you and Kyle ready? I'll wait till they're ready.
Yep. Think we can do the Jeopardy song with the singing bowls?
Yes.
Bong, bong.
I mean, that's not very
Aww.
Yeah. I mean, I can.
So the next thing we're also doing right now too is we're gonna record some of this so you guys can hear what it sounds like.
Perfect.
So if that's the case, so everyone knows, let's go a little farther so we have a good little bit. Can we go, when we start this up again, can we go all the way to the bottom of 67 with that last alas?
Sure.
Hannah, can you stop? Can you just speak a line? Unmute yourself and speak a line.
Happening? Do I need to keep speaking?
Ah, there you are. You are good. You are in the feed now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So do I need to keep myself unmuted now?
No, just whenever you say your line now, it'll be going to the live stream. I just put you in the mix. So I just needed to do that real quick. So you are good for now. I was just
Wait,
testing.
I'm still confused.
I just needed to test something real quick. You are good. Just keep unmuting yourself when you're talking like you have been doing.
Okay, does that include when I'm speaking with other people?
Man, this is weird.
Right?
We're still figuring that out. I'll let you know.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Who's he talking to?
Okay.
Good to go?
Yeah.
Everyone ready? Hannah, you ready to go with your line?
This is what the live
Awesome.
stream
Adam, whenever you're ready.
Sir. Desiring each him to behold.
Wedded but lately, couches forsaking.
Soft as their coverlets.
Youth was voluptuous.
Their sorrows insatiate woe.
And I the pious song recite.
Doom of the gone.
Woe upon woe!
Now all Asia.
Desolate.
Void.
Sighs lament. Xerxes led.
Alas!
Xerxes lost.
Oh woe!
Xerxes, heedless, all discharged.
With ocean argosies.
Why was Darius so long without harm?
Archery's captain of citizens, loved Zeus's lord.
Armies.
Navies.
Lazuli eyed.
Linen winged.
Oh woe! Warships rammed destructively.
By Grecian arms. Scarcely escaped was the leader alone.
So we have heard.
In the
Oh.
great
It would be a gamble because the timing could change things. For sure. Like it'd be a fifth, a second one day. Sixth the next day. Yes.
That's how my brain works for sure. I'm not that crazy.
Yeah.
Never has a red hand. Just sings about it.
Yeah, I didn't review it.
We're gonna take it back from the same place one more time, please.
Yes, sir.
Bottom of page 66, everyone.
Robert, would you so kind of shut that door, please?
Yes, sir.
I don't know if that's making much of a difference, but thank you.
Everyone ready?
Yes.
Adam.
Desiring each him to behold.
Wedded but lately, couches forsaking.
Soft as their coverlets.
Youth was voluptuous.
Their sorrows insatiate woe.
And I the pious song recite.
Doom of the gone.
Woe upon woe!
Now all Asia.
Desolate.
void.
Sighs lament. Xerxes led.
Alas!
Xerxes lost.
Oh woe!
Xerxes, heedless, are all discharged.
With ocean argosies.
Why was Darius so long without harm?
Archery's captain of citizens, loved Zeus's lord.
Armies.
Navies.
Lazuli eyed.
Linen winged.
Worships led.
Oh
woe!
Warships rammed destructively.
By Grecian arms. Scarcely escaped was the leader alone.
So we have heard.
In the Thracian plains.
Bitter ways. Day of the first death.
Alas!
Left by necessity.
Whoa.
Hold.
Okay. Y'all wanna hear what you sound like?
Sounds
This is what this is what you will sound like on Friday.
Well, I hope not.
Can you come in quicker? What's going on with those cues?
We're waiting for Hannah.
Is that what it was? You're waiting for Hannah? Ah, okay, gotcha. So Hannah, can you hear me? So I think for Friday, if you're going to be remote, you must get in a closet or a bedroom with lots of pillows and blankets and sound mufflers to warm up your sound. It sounds nice and rich in this room, and if you could replicate that, then it will be almost indistinguishable that you're actually not here. It's kind of incredible, actually. There's just this like third of a second gap on the choric stuff that you gotta figure out, which is just that little bit of latency.
Does her sound really that close to us too?
Sorry?
Does her sound really that close to us too?
It sounds fine.
That's so
I mean,
cool.
she's got echo, but if she sat in the bedroom with some
Dampen it
blanket.
up. That'd be so cool.
I emailed the arts editor for KPRA, and they're remote, and he sent me an email back and said he gets in his wife's closet to do his recording. He just sits in there and just.
Yeah.
What's that?
Make it impromptu.
There's some people around.
This is a makeup studio.
Sam, can we find out if there's anything to be done about, because if these guys are gonna hate here,
Really?
they're trying to get into there, it's just gonna, the potential for resonant sound is too great. Like, I think we'll be okay here, because the one piece is removed there, but just like, I don't know, do we have another rug, or is campus environment, just lay down here, cover this area?
You want me to ask around the school for another rug?
Facility, if we just have some soft objects, if these three guys wanna live here, or if you guys are just gonna have to live over there on the rug. Right, just in terms of the sound.
Apparently I had a production.
Holy God, if somebody keeps their phone on Friday night, I'm gonna lose my love and mind. It's like halfway through the bzzz. Hello? What are we doing up there? I'm not changing to business right now.
You wish that would happen. You're always waiting for something to go wrong.
I kind of secretly,
It's the most exciting moment for you.
I put that in the newspaper. Maybe something will go wrong.
Maybe I should maybe I should just do an onstage interview with you about that.
These speakers aren't very loud, but.
Sounds much better in the.
Youth was voluptuous. Linen wing.
That was just pretty quiet, but it sounds much louder when you're actually listening to it.
Yeah. Is there a way to replicate that in some way? Because I think it would be helpful.
Yeah,
If they got a sense of how loud they actually are when they talk full voice, and also how soft it is when they're quiet there.
Sam. During a break or something, we can bust
I
out.
still wish they were gonna do the sound of having
Yeah.
that fountain.
Well, we're due for 10 now, so.
Yeah, we have 2 minutes to go.
And also the
Yeah, it's supposed to be strength training, and it sounds the first thing you think of is it's supposed to be pretty cool.
Yeah, we can rearrange.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Right.
Well, I got a t-shirt, the mermaids, everything.
As long as this isn't from there.
Let's take 10! We're back at 8:40, 8:59.
All right, Robert, shall we open the door? Let's open the doors.
So, this. There's only like 12 roles in that club.
I think we can stretch some of those.
Okay.
There's lots of it. That is the one play that doesn't have a legit crowd, singing, screaming, and yelling stuff, right? So that's something that we gotta solve.
Because even Caesar has like all those random
Caesar
people.
is the mob. It's
Yeah.
glorious. There's all
It's
kinds of
fantastic.
Don't do that.
She has muscular tension.
I believe she got it.
Should be up there.
In the drama building? Just a standard. Yes. Socially distant. Socially distant.
It's not, it's a lot of people. It's because it's only clowns, isn't it?
Adam?
Camera.
Adam?
Desiring each him to behold.
Wedded but lately, couches forsaking.
Soft as their coverlets.
Youth was voluptuous.
Their sorrows insatiate woe.
I the pious song recite.
Doom of the gone.
Woe upon woe.
Woe.
Now all Asia.
Desolate. Void. Sighs lament. Xerxes led.
Alas.
Xerxes lost.
Oh woe.
Xerxes heedless are all discharged.
With ocean argosies.
Why was Darius so long without harm?
Archery's captain of citizens. Loved Zeus's lord.
Armies.
Navies.
Lazuli eyed.
Linen winged.
Oh
woe.
Warships rammed destructively.
By Grecian arms.
Scarcely escaped was the leader alone.
So we have heard.
In the Thracian plains.
Bitter ways. They of the first death.
Alas!
Left by necessity.
Woe.
All
Okay.
When you get a second, you just need to confirm that she is aware.
That's true.
Of the
Just
rules
hang it up in the
where
footer.
they are standing.
You have any boy.
So the first thing we need to get is, I think, just the sound of the water to maybe set some levels just on that mic.
Okay. Oh, that is better.
Because this really rewards that, but then kills the.
No, yeah. Okay, uppercase B and lowercase b different colors. This is so important.
I mean, they're both blue.
Okay, one color or 6 and 8.
I don't see everything with colors.
Really?
No.
That's weird.
Do you?
Yeah.
What color is 7?
Green.
Actually, I was thinking green.
Okay, here's the weird thing. I've always wondered because uppercase B is yellow, and then for a long time lowercase b was yellow, and then one day I was like, oh my god, it's blue. Why? That doesn't make sense. It's the only pair that are not the same color. And then I realized it's because 6 is blue. Is yellow, and so my brain just thinks they're the same.
There's a name for that.
Synesthesia.
I feel like I read a book when I was a kid where like the main character had that and he was trying to do math and he was like, it doesn't make sense though because they're different colors. And the teacher was like, oh.
That's interesting. It's clutch on tests.
Is it? You're just like,
I'm just like, I remember.
this is turquoise.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, okay. It's especially multiple choice. You're like, whichever one's orange.
This sounds made up.
Julian may be just communicating with the gods.
Speaking the language of the gods.
Yeah, whatever the Hogwarts house is where you see things that aren't there. I'm in that one.
So you can see ghosts.
Ghosts.
A ghost.
Anyone at Hogwarts can see a ghost, okay?
That's true.
That's accurate.
Lady Hedges, how can you be kneeling? Hey, I'm a dead horseman. You want to shut up, little girl?
You dip your first chance, at least try to do better.
Yeah, I mean, also, what's going on with these staircases?
Oh, wait a minute.
Whose idea was like, hey, when you're new to a school, trying to figure out your hallways at like a normal high school is, what if we made it not only three-dimensional, but with staircases that move? Oh, and by the way, there's like no tolerance for tardiness.
Just
It's like,
FYI,
why was my
I'm
class?
loving this
Well, I was
Hogwarts
going down
boutique over here.
staircase 3, and then I was in the complete opposite side of the building. Because we have a stupid, why do we do this? This is completely illogical. And then Miss McGonagall says, shut up or I'll turn you into a cup. And he's like, yeah, right. And you're like, bam, you're a cup. And he's like, well, great, now I can't go up any staircases because I don't have any legs. Harry Potter's really, really kind of dumb when you start to break it down.
It really is.
But also, it's kind of great, as you can see by the fact that I'm wearing merchandise right now, because it also keeps my ears warm.
What's that?
It's like magic.
It's a Harry Potter hat.
Yeah, but what's the crest? I can see it.
Oh, it's Ravenclaw.
You do the whole Pottermore thing?
I did, not for very long, but when it like just came out, I was in middle school.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, check out the Pottermore thing. I was like, what the go well? And I did like it for a couple days, like, this is kind of neat, and then I forgot about it.
I took the quiz,
Yeah,
and I
no.
ended up in Hufflepuff, and I was so
When I was a
bewildered
middle
that I
schooler,
just.
and I was like, actually, like, thinking
Well, I
about
never
what-
wanted to be in Ravenclaw.
You never wanted to?
I never wanted to.
But you were Hufflepuff.
Well, yeah, but I
Foley,
Yes.
Yeah.
can we start with, can we do water?
Water. You want pouring water or splooshing water?
Sploosh then pour.
Sploosh then pour. Wait, you mean like dunk then pour or like wave noises?
Dunk and pour.
Okay.
Cameron didn't like that.
it's just torture, Cameron. Honestly, it's just this is terrible stuff.
Don't get as hard as you can right now.
When you pour it, can you pour further out so there's less echo of the jug inside?
Like higher up.
Yeah, try it. A little lower.
You know how to get his bird down, then come back home.
Hang on. David, can you ditch the pitcher and then put your hands in and cup some water and then let it go so like you're baptizing? Got a lot of kids to baptize. Keep going. That might be good. I'm not listening to it. Can we try one of the libation sequences, just so we can hear sound and this, just to see? For now, stick with the bowl, David. Okay. Okay, let's see. Oh, just pick any old place. Charlie, you want to
70. That one looks tough. 17, yeah.
What would we do? Careful with the cat, maybe. That cat is going to fly off. No, it's okay. Are we all decided where we're going to start for our...
What page?
Page 70.
70. Top of the page, you sacred divinities.
David, you ready?
Yes.
Ye sacred
Divinities, Earth and King Hermes, conduct him to light up from the dead, who alone of all mortals, a remedy knowing, may show us the end.
Hearest thou, blessed King, equal to a god?
As I proclaim now chantings unpleasant, barbarous, mournful, clear and diverse,
Miserable sorrows I shall cry out.
below dost thou hearken?
Yeah. Oh, okay, great. I'm going to try something. Who has a general sense of what he's doing? Jillian?
Yeah?
You want to do it? David, come listen.
Wait, David, what height are you doing it from? Like here?
Somewhere.
Okay.
Just lower rather than higher.
Okay.
Or off your forehead and land in, sort of, secondary. I think that might have to be a dive.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. Actually, we've been talking to Sam. It's nice, actually.
I love the call you took a bit. I love it.
I didn't realize there was water.
Let's do it from the same place.
Ye sacred divinities, Earth and King Hermes, conduct him to light up from the dead, who alone of all mortals, a remedy knowing, may show us the end.
Hearest thou, blessed King, equal to a god?
As I proclaim now chantings unpleasant, barbarous, mournful, clear and diverse,
Miserable sorrows I shall cry out.
Below, dost thou hearken?
Yeah, let's hold.
So what do you think?
Oh, I don't think I missed the beat there.
Great, right?
Sounds good. Sounds okay. The first time you've ever missed one.
That's it. You gotta get in the boat.
Yeah, so we just wanna, I don't think.
Yeah, I think the more sort of like the variety, like,
Having like,
You can pour it off in this.
sometimes like,
almost seems like my hands, right? And maybe even the hands might be better, maybe we try that. But you can hear how
If anyone's thirsty, Kyle has provided water for us. Was there water in the cherry orchard?
Yes.
you know what I mean?
No, there was one singing.
Okay, so he said
These are what?
chronology, so I honestly don't know if he's expecting a timeline or paragraph. You guys, since it says here, it's fine.
So that's the name.
We'll try shortening it.
No, it's okay, because I'm doing paragraph.
Still need something else? We can try filling it out.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So, we can move on from that, you have an idea how that works?
Yeah, yes, right?
Sounds great, right? Yeah.
Is it?
Sounds really, really good. I want to hear all 4 sound goals, just to hear how that's the prayer goals.
There are 5.
Soft to loud crescendo?
Yeah,
There's
just kind
5
of see
actually.
what might kind of thing we can get going on
Do
here.
you want them
By
near
themselves?
do you want them near the Foley mic or out in the population?
Let's do it as we've been rehearsing it, which means dispersed. Let's just see, because in terms of how they're set up, these mics and the Foley mic are set up the same. Right, but that just gives its own isolated thing. They're all, just FYI, every mic is gonna be hot for the whole show. Make sense? And like, these are such high quality mics, if you rustle your paper, you hear it really clearly, especially with high quality headphones. So, just FYI. Okay.
You wanna do the
There's
top
no
of the
rapping?
show sequence? Top of the show?
Yeah, where she goes and we kind of taper ourselves in.
Is there ever a moment where they're all going with nothing else happening? Yeah.
Top.
Just at the top, yeah.
I was kidding, top of the show, totally, let's do the top of the show. Okay, that sounds really amazing, actually.
The order
Is that the
you
top
guys
of the
did it
show?
in is perfect.
That's the top
Well,
of the show?
Yes,
Walking in and top of, then
Yeah,
yeah,
I didn't, we didn't get the sudden stop.
Right, and then you cut them off and you're
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
shut up,
we're
and
gonna
stay
cut off.
focused, we're gonna do some ritual shit.
Yeah.
Did
Okay,
we
wait.
have, did we have one at Darius's
No, because
arrival as well?
it's gotta be-
We had this
Just those
before.
ones.
He said he would think about adding it back in. but-
Okay, okay.
You're the first to start,
Yes.
yes? Who's second?
I've been going second, we haven't been doing a set order, we just
Yeah.
haven't.
But the way you guys just did it was so good.
Did we set it?
Did we?
We've been doing the same thing.
Yeah, we do the same thing, but never officially said that that's what we were doing.
Oh, I thought we had.
We had-
Like,
we
that
set
was
the
last
Darius
one. I just didn't want one of the, little,
It was
Well,
like de facto set that the big one started in.
yeah, gotcha, okay, but you two have,
T90.
you're coming in 2?
Second, yes, sir.
Can you start over there on the left?
Yes, sir.
Who's 3, you? Can you do right? Adam, you're 4? Okay. Let's see how that sounds.
Does that mean I'm 5?
Huh?
So
Oh, where were
You'll
you?
be 5 and I'll be 4. Nope, other way around. I'm 5.
I'm 4.
Yes, I want that big one, not the last one to come in.
Not the last one?
No,
Yes, the last one.
yes, the last one.
Got it.
What I'm thinking, not what I'm saying.
Sorry.
Okay, I'm
Okay,
gonna
off of
raise my
Jillian?
hand and then I'm gonna come down.
Right.
So, okay.
Yeah.
So, it's really cool when that comes in, because it's like, whoa, and then, hey, how's it going over here? That's really, really great.
Can we hear it?
Sorry?
Can we hear it?
Is there a way to hear it? Outside of
I can record it and send it to them, that'd be the only way they could hear it.
Yeah, basically, it just sounds like, oh, it's on that ear, and then this comes in this ear, and then, you know.
I experienced it.
There we go. We live in the dream. Hey, I just want to see, is it possible for this to kind of live on its own just a little bit longer, and then for this to live a little bit longer before 4 and 5 come in?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Just those
So I'm like jamming with this, and then this comes in, and it's like, oh, they're bringing the good shit in the drama department, and then, oh my God, this is amazing! And then 4 and 5.
Free ecstasy.
When they all come in, it's definitely like we've reached sonic maximum. But I think that's kind of interesting, right? We just don't want to live there for like 9 hours. Jillian.
It sounds like we're about to start singing in a world of my imagination.
Exactly what I was going for. That's what I was going for. Didn't he pass away recently?
Yeah,
well,
it was like a few years ago.
2 3 years.
Wasn't that long?
Yeah.
It's been a few
It's a real
years.
shame we lost him and not Uncle Joe or Grandpa Joe.
Is he still alive?
Alright,
Uncle Joe
There's
is
no way that guy's still alive.
Yeah, he was pretty up there. He's probably not. He's probably gone.
Can we try that one more time and just that minor adjustment? Let's just see.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Oh no. Oh. Charlie, bad job.
Of the Persians gone.
Gone where?
Places about
Good.
the Persian area.
How much control do you all have when you're all going at volume as a collective?
As a collective, we'd have to be looking at each other.
But could we maybe not get quite so loud?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
The small bowls don't get very loud.
Do you mean
Yeah,
in total or as
Like it's like
plural?
Voltron, when they all come together, it's kind of bigger than the sum of its parts.
You just
Yeah.
want it to be quieter?
Yes.
Okay.
I was
Well,
crescendoing up. I
just
can
not reach the full crescendo for as long.
Okay, yeah, I can make it slower. Yeah. Okay.
Can we run the whole beginning and do a little bit of lines until I stop us, please?
Sure.
I think, what are these, what kind of ones are these?
So I'm just gonna not build as loud because I think the big one overpowers.
Yeah, this one also gets really.
Yeah.
When
The
these
bigger
get
ones.
going, they go.
Like this will like kick my mallet off of it because it's vibrating so
Oh,
much.
slow down there, Nelly.
Okay,
But you
So,
can control it, right?
Sam,
Yeah,
take
I
it
don't-
over
it
the
doesn't
ready.
have to get that
Let's
loud.
take it, just wanna see this opening goes. And we're gonna do it from like the, oh, you want me to say Persians?
Headphones,
Yeah.
no.
Oh, we're doing the thing.
Yeah, we're done in the whole opening sequence.
Without further ado, Aeschylus the Persian.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this evening. It's cold. Snuggle up with the people you love. And enjoy Aeschylus's The Persians.
the Persians, gone to the land of Greece. Here are the trusted.
As protectors of treasure and of golden thrones, we were chosen by Xerxes, emperor and king, son of Darius, in accord with age, guards of the country. For the king's return with his troops of gold, doom is the omen in my heart convulsed, as it whines for its master.
For all Asia is gone.
To the city of Persians, neither a herald nor horseman returns.
And some Agbatana.
And some Susa.
Hold. Guys, that sounds incredible. That sounds really, really great. Really, really great. Adam, punch that opening a little stronger.
Okay.
Jillian and all those with the bowls, I think that timing was really great. When we come in with the feet, we don't need to be quite as exaggerated because it picks up the sound so well.
Okay.
But it's really rich in here. I cannot believe it's in the same space as like a week ago. It's unbelievable. Yeah, really, really good. We are going to get padding or some kind of sound deadening stuff for those two locations, so those you four don't have to worry about making noise on the hardwood. Chorus mic sounds great. I think like it's really clear. I can't tell that they're right in different sort of. We didn't do much kind of soloing, but that's good. Do you have a question from Hannah? Hannah, how you doing? Is any of this making sense? Do you have any questions about this, or can you hear live?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Which feed is she getting?
She's getting the live feed. She can hear you, but you can only hear her by wearing these.
I got you. Okay.
It works. It doesn't. Robert, this is stuff up your singing bowl game. What'd you say? What'd you say? Nothing.
You making fun of me?
Yes.
Because I buggered up the singing bowl?
Yes.
Honestly, Robert, I hit it and then I just stopped.
In my defense, I didn't do anything.
Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days. Okay? Nobody's perfect.
Yeah, these are a lot more ornamental than the big one.
Here is the plan.
Aren't you happy I traded with you?
Hey, listen up.
Here is the plan. We're going to do a run. Okay? We're going to record the run. That doesn't mean we're going to send it to you, but we may. I'm going to listen to it first to see if we want to send it to you. So put the sticks away. We're going to incorporate those tomorrow. And remember, Friday night, the call is at 7. So we're going to add about 9 or 10 sound cues Friday night before we go, just to keep you on your toes. Keep you on your toes.
So for this run, do you want me unmuted even for all the group stuff?
And Claire, yes.
Can we mark
Bulgaria is so delicious.
No,
it's not delicious. That's a human being.
Can we mark
Did
Hannah's
anyone
lines
hear
in
me?
our script so that we know if we are prepared for it?
Yes. Yes. Can we get that to you, but still do the run? In other words, get it to you like officially by tomorrow? Because if we do that now, I'm not sure we'll have time to do a run as well. Does that make sense? So if there's a mistake, we'll learn from that mistake. But I want to give everyone another opportunity to say these words. Jillian?
Do you want to yank that down so it doesn't fall down in the middle of the run?
I'm not super stressed about that.
Okay.
This is only the recording that's going to the Smithsonian, so.
I just didn't want to mess up his Smithsonian recording, but I know he likes to have a little Schrodinger's box involved
There we
every
go,
time.
that's exactly right. So make sure all your phones are fully off.
Schrodinger's box.
Fine. Anything else before the run? Hand up.
Yeah?
So on this run, I'd like to have her video on, and then we're going to go off of your lips. We're going to lip sync you in the room. So.
Okay. Do you want me unmuted for all the group parts as well?
Hannah, could you say that one more time?
Do you want me to stay unmuted for all of the group parts?
Yes.
Perfect. Done. All right, so we're gonna try this. This will be a good trial to figure out sort of what's working and what is not. And before we leave, just sort of make some decisions about this, and we'll kind of listen and see what we like, and I'll send you some notes and thoughts, and But you guys get sort of what's going on here, yeah?
Yes, sir.
All right. In general, I think you should pick A side, and you should pick A side, and Charlie pick A side, and generally stay on that side. So if you want to start over here, don't ever end up fully over there, but you could drift that way. Make sense?
They're all staying.
Okay. Awesome. And if someone's fully over there, counter them. So that's that.
So when we're not as so to give people mobility in this space, when we're not speaking, do we need to decide, or should we?
Yeah, I go lie down and do whatever, right? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right.
Let's take a 5. Please be back by 9:36.
Thank you, 5.
What's love?
I think my favorite line of the whole thing is like, I was thinking about this last time. Even though the last thing was so you go to the palace, gather up Richard.
Oh, I just mean it's just got to have this is the first line of quality, right? Versus,
I just feel like
this
that's such a
is the end. Right?
Not listening back people well, just go and talk to them.
Getting not just what the story is in the beginning, but also what the tone feel.
This is really funny at the time.
Oh, this is, I mean, you're doing just really brilliantly with it. Just give it we don't have to say it. No. Vocal bump at the beginning. You can do that.
Don't work with me.
It's because I think it's the way I'm holding it. Because
Yeah, it's gotta be.
if my palm is anywhere near here,
That's a good thing with this one.
doesn't really matter where you land.
No, it's the whole thing. But I have to work the edges.
That's true. You have to go really wrong.
Look,
You don't have a curve to work with. I haven't tried that one.
I mean, I did it with rubbing and it makes sense. But it's also a thing because yours is smooth too.
That's true. You have grooves.
That sounds really good. I like the occasional honk too.
Oh, right. It's real sad. It's like, you got this prisoner just like walking in a circle. Just so.
It's funny, funnier than you thought, actually, in like a good way. But then also like when you had to drive it home, you did, and that was great. And we'll listen tonight to see if like maybe some of that vocal push we're giving is too much. So like in other words, go for it tonight, and then we'll see. Oh, we're gonna go now.
You guys are both like.
Really? Wait, this barrel? I'm not doing me.
We're not doing too many shows together.
Put a muzzle on him. Y'all very, might as well bring him out to the point, right?
This is my personality.
A Bebo?
This is it.
Oh, the Longhorns, that's right. They have the Longhorns, that's right. Okay.
This
Is it a bear?
This
This is Final Four.
This is Final Four. I don't know if you were ready to think as long as you're fine.
Yeah, he just has a cavalier. It's lame. It's amazing. Yeah, it's not an animal or like native animal.
Those are usually the
Okay,
seniors.
Wyoming is a cavalier. That's pretty cool.
Like, I think like the seniors that are quick can really get stupid.
No one does. No one cares about animals. If you learn reason why we have a college up there, it's doing something like a state, like, oh, we should have a college.
Oh, I haven't thought about Regina in forever. I miss her.
I fucking love Regina.
I mean, if there's like a North
He just laughed a lot.
Dakota,
Sometimes we
it's the same
talk about normal people, and then sometimes we text each other on a picture stack.
a Baylor.
That's smart. Do you want like we were last night?
1 minute!
Thank you, Juan.
You must have spent the entire practice. You and Josh were talking outside the MJT.
Oh, that's a nice. Buddy, you should bring that up, young man. Buddy, you should bring that up. Charlie crashed our first date.
Yeah, I crashed in Josh's first day.
And then Charlie's like, yeah, you're breaking up the band.
All right, so no matter what happens, keep going. So if we lose track of Hannah, if you think, just keep going, just barrel through so we'll learn from those mistakes. So we'll have some notes afterwards, but have a good run. Sam, do you mind introducing the play? So we can go tip to tail and I'm going to go listen to my office.
Yes, I can do that, yes.
All right, you just need to say with great panache and the right amount of inappropriate pauses. Aeschylus is perfect. There you go. Okay, have a great run. Have a great run.
Thank you. Thank you, Ron.
I'm so sorry. But I waited.
Get that cotton, buddy.
Do that after we start recording.
Damon, are you ready?
I'm gonna start recording in 10 seconds.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello. Welcome to University of Dallas's presentation of Aeschylus's The Persians. No, I don't just exist.
Yeah.
No.
Of the Persians gone to the land of Greece, here are the trusted. As protectors of treasure and of golden thrones, we were chosen by Xerxes, emperor and king, son of Darius, in accord with age, guards of the country. For the king's return with his troops of gold, doom is the omen in my heart convulsed, as it whines for its master.
For all Asia is gone.
To the city of Persians, neither a herald nor horseman returns.
And some Agbatana,
And some Susa.
an ancient Kissa leaving.
Both on horse and on ship.
And
And
on foot display.
Legions of battle.
Artaphrines.
Megabates.
Astabes,
Amistries.
Leaders of Persians, kings,
Kings,
who are slaves of the greatest of kings, guarding the legions they rush, and as bowmen in might, with their temper resolved, fearful in aspect, dreadful in battle.
And exultant in horses are Tembares, the
Massive
brave archer Emmaus, and Pharindacus,
and the driver of horses, Sosthenes,
And others were sent by the flourishing Nile, Egyptian-born Sosthenes,
Pagastagon, great Arsames, ruler of sacred Memphis,
and Ariamartus, governing ancient Thebes,
and who dwelling by marshes are rowers of ships, skillful and countless.
And Lydians sought to inhabit the coast.
Follow commanders and kings,
Metropolis, and brave Artius,
and golden Sardis send many charioteers, horses by threes and by fours, fearful the sight to behold.
And the neighbors of Tmolus, they threatened to yoke in servitude Hellas.
And the Mysian lancers, Therabus, Mardon, anvils of battle.
And golden Babylon pours forth her crowds,
borne by their ships, who in drawing the bow rely on their boldness. And the tribes from all Asia, who carry the sword, follow beneath the awesome parade of their king. Thus, of the Persian land, of her men the flower is gone.
Nursed by the earth, and all Asia laments, consumed by desire.
And parents and wives, counting the days, tremble at lengthening time.
The destroyer of cities now, that kingly army has gone over the strait to the land on linen-bound pontoons. Tightly was clamped the way, Hella of Athens crossing, yoking the neck of the sea.
And the furious leader, the herd of populous Asia he drives,
wonderful over the earth, and admirals stern and rough, marshals of men he trusts.
Gold his descent from Perseus, he is the equal of gods.
His eyes,
lazuli flashing,
like a snake's murderous lances, with his mariners, warriors many, and his Syrian chariot driving, hard on the lordly spearman, the archer Ares he leads.
To the great torrent of heroes, there is none worthily equal.
Whose this by defenses secure it, the unconquerable billows of ocean.
Persians are never defeated, the people tempered and brave.
For divine fate has prevailed since it enjoined Persians to wage wars,
which destroy towers
and ramparts,
and the glad tumult of horsemen, and cities overthrown.
When the vast ocean was formed
by the wind's boisterous whitened,
then they learned, trusting to cables and to pontoons which convey men, to scan the sacred sea.
Deceitful deception of God, what mortal man shall avoid it?
With nimbleness
deafness,
and speed, whose leaping foot shall escape it?
Benign
And coaxing at first,
it leads us astray,
into nets which no mortal is able to slip.
whose doom we never can flee.
Thus, sable-clad, my heart is torn.
Fearful for those Persian arms.
Bless the city here,
Alas!
That reft of men is Susa.
Unless the city kiss us shall.
When the crowds of women cry,
Sing antiphonal.
Alas! And rend their garb of mourning.
All the horse and infantry, like a swarm of bees, have gone. With the captain
of the host who joined the headlands of either
crossing the
yoke of the sea.
beds with longing fill with tears. Persian wives in softness weep, each her armed furious lord dismissed with gentle love and grief, left all alone in the yoke. But come, Persians, let us in this ancient palace sit, and deep and wisely found our thoughts.
How does King Xerxes fare?
Darius his son,
How fare his people?
His arrows hail or strength of spear conquered.
But lo,
Lo,
she comes.
A light whose splendor equals eyes of gods.
The mother of our king. I kneel.
kneel.
Now all must address and salute her. Oh,
Most majestic queen of Persians.
in ample folds adorned,
hail, ancient Xerxes' mother, consort of Darius, hail, mistress of the god of Persians, mother of a god thou art. Unless the fortune of their arms now at last has altered.
Leaving my gold-clad palace, marriage chamber of Darius and my own, his queen I'm come. Care quite grates my heart. I fear my friends, though not fearful for myself, lest great wealth's gallop trip prosperity, exalted by Darius and some god in its own dust. But unexpectedly that dread has doubled. Sums of cowardly wealth do court contempt, and indigence quenches ambition's flame, even if there's strength. The wealth we have, unstinted, yet fear is for mine eye, Xerxes, whose presence here I count the palace eye. So things stand thus. Advise my reason, Persians, old sureties. All my gains with your counsel lie.
O Queen of Persia, be assured that never twice hast thou to tell us word or deed, which our willing strength can guide.
For we are loyal, whom thou dost call thy counselors.
With frequent, constant, and nocturnal dreams I have lived, as soon as my son, gathering his host, had gone, his will to pillage Greece. But never a more vivid presence came than yesternights. 2 women as an apparition came, one in Persian robes instructed well, the other Doric, both in splendor dressed, who grand and most magnificent excelled us now, their beauty unreproached, spotless. Sisters they, who casting for their father's land, she Greece received, she Asia were to dwell. Then strife arose between them, or so I dreamed, and my son, observing this, tries to check and soothe them. He yokes them to a chariot, bridles their necks, and one so arrayed towers proud, her mouth obedient to reins. But the other stamps, annoyed, and rends apart her trappings in the car. Unbridled, seizes the car and snaps its yoke in 2. My son falls, and his father pitying stands by his side, but I, whose sight Xerxes tears his robes. Thus in the night these visions dreamed. But when arisen, I touched the spring's fair-flowing waters, approached the altar, wishing to offer sacrifice religiously to guardian deities, whose rites these are. Then to Phoebus' hearth I saw an eagle fleeing. Dumb in dread I stood. A falcon swooped upon him, its wings in flight, its claws plucked at his head. He did no more than cower, hare-like. Those were my terrors to see and yours to hear. My son, should he succeed, would be admired, but if he fails, Persia cannot hold him to account. Whichever comes, safe return, sovereign he shall rule.
Queen Mother, excessive fear or confidence we do not wish to give thee. If thy dreams were ominous, approach the gods with supplications. Pray that these be unfulfilled, and blessings be fulfilled for thee, thy son, thy city, and thy friends.
Next thou must libations pour to earth and the dead, and beg Darius, of whom thou didst dream, send thee those blessings from the nether world to light for thee and for thy son, and hide in darkness evils contrary, retained within the earth.
Propitious be thy prayers.
We, prophetic in our spirit, kindly counsel thee. All will prosper.
Ah, loyally have answered the first expounders of my dreams. May these blessings ripen, and all, as you enjoin, I'll sacrifice to other gods and friends as soon as I return. But one thing more I wish to know. My friends, where is Athens said to be?
Far toward the dying flames of sun.
Yet still my son lusts to track it down?
Then all Hellas would be subject to the king.
So rich in numbers are they.
So great a host as dealt to Persians many woes.
Are bow-plucked shafts their armament?
Pikes wielded close and shielded panoplies.
What else besides? Have they sufficing wealth?
Their earth is veined with silver treasuries.
Who commands them? Who is shepherd of their host?
They are slaves to none, nor are they subject.
But how could they withstand a foreign foe?
Enough to vanquish Darius' noble host.
We mothers dread to calculate.
But soon thou'lt know all.
A Persian runner comes, bearing some fresh report of weal
or woe.
O cities of Asia, O Persian land and wealth's great anchorage, how at a single stroke prosperity's corrupted, and the flower of Persia falls and is gone. Alas, the first herald of woe, he must disclose entire what befell. Persians, all the barbarian host is gone.
Oh, woe, woeful evil, novel and hostile. Alas, Persians weep, hearing this woe.
How all has been destroyed, and I behold the unexpected light of my return.
Oh, long since our aged life to us elders. Alas, hearing woe unexpected.
And since I was witness, deaf to rumor's tales, I can indicate what sorrows came.
Woe upon woe, in vain the crowds of arrows massed came on the hostile land.
The lifeless, rotting corpses glut the shore in adjacent fields of Salamis.
Woe upon woe,
Of friends the sea-dyed corpses whirl,
vagrant on craggy shores.
The bow protected none, but all the host defeated in the naval charge was lost.
Raise a mournful, doleful cry for Persians wretched.
All they made, all woe. Alas, the host destroyed.
O most hateful name of Salamis. O woe. How I mourn recalling Athens.
Athens, hateful to her foes. Recall how many Persians widowed vain, and mothers losing sons.
Long am I silent. Alas, struck down by disaster succeeding speech and question. Yet men perforce God-sent misfortunes must endure. Speak. Disclose entire what befell, quietly though you grieve. Who did not die, for whom of the captains shall we lament? Whose scepter death drained his ranks manless?
Xerxes lives to behold the light.
Oh, for my palace a greater light, and after blackest night a whiter day.
Or Tymberes, captain of 10,000 horse, was dashed against Cylenia's rugged shore. And satrap Dadaches, spear-struck, did lightly tumble from his ship. And native-born Tinagon, the bravest Bactrian, still haunts sea-buffeted Ajax's isle. And Leleus, Arsemes, and Argestes, conquered near the island where doves do thrive, beat a stubborn coast. And neighbors of Egyptian Nile waters, Adeus, Arctius, and third-shielded Pharnucus from a single ship were drowned. And Metellus, satrap of Chrysia, dying, leader of 1,000 horse, changed to richest red his thick-set flowing beard, and dipped his skin in crimson dyes. And Magian Erebus and Bactrian Artemis, all aliens in a savage country, perished. And Thistreus, who wielded the much belaboring spear, and Amystrus, brave Ariamardus, all made Sardis weep. Mysius Izames, Darius, commander of 5 times 50 ships, his race Lyrian fair to look upon, his fortune was not. Dead he lies. And the leader of Cilician single-handed taxed the enemy with toil, and nobly died. So many of the rulers I recall, but of the many woes report but few.
Alas, I hear the greatest of misfortunes, shame of Persians and shrill lament. But tell me, returning to your tale, what was the number of the Grecian ships that thought themselves a match for Persian arms in naval combat?
Had numbers counted, the barbarian warships surely would have won. The Greeks but numbered 30 tens, and 10 apart from these a chosen squadron formed. But Xerxes, and this I know full well, 1,000 led, and 7 and 200 ranked as queens in swiftness. The count stood so, seemed we unequal? Some deity destroyed our host, who weighing down the balance swung the beam of fortune. The gods saved the city of the goddess.
What Athens still stands unsacked?
As long as there are men, the city stands.
What was the beginning of disaster? Tell me. Who began? The Greeks? My son, exultant in his numbers?
Either an avenger or a wicked god, my lady, whence it came I know not, began the whole disaster. From Athenian ranks a Greek approached, addressing Xerxes thus: when the gloom of blackest night will fall, the Greeks will not remain, but leap to rowing bench, and each by secret course will save his life. And he, your son, upon hearing this, in ignorance of Greek guile and the jealousy of gods, harangued his captains publicly. As soon as sunlit rays no longer burn the earth, and darkness sweeps the corridors of the sky, rank the swarm of ships in 3 flotillas, guard they the entrances, and the straight sea pound, and girdle others round Ajax's isle. But if the Greeks escape their evil doom, contriving secret flight, all your heads will roll, I warrant it. So he spoke in humored pride of the God-given fortune, nothing he knew. And having supped, they set themselves in order, each heart obedient, and sailors bound a thong about each oar. When the glare of sunlight died, and night came on, every man was at his oar, every man at arms who knew them. Rank and courage drank, and longboats sailed to stations each had been assigned. All night the captains kept the fleet awake, and night ran on. No Grecian army set secret sail, but when the steeds of day, white and luminous, began to cross the sky, a song-like, happy tumult sounded from the Greeks, and island rocks returned the high-pitched echo. Fear fell among us, deceived in hope, for they, and not as if to flee, a solemn paean chanted, and to battle rushed with fervent boldness. Trumpets flared, putting every Greek aflame. At once concordant strokes of oars and dissonance slapped the water's depths. Soon we saw them all. First the right wing led in an order, next advanced the whole armada. A great concerted cry we heard. O Greek sons, advance! Free your fathers' lands, free your sons, your wives, the sanctuaries of paternal gods, the sepulchres of ancestors. Now the contest is drawn, all is at stake. And Babel-burst tongues rose to meet it. No longer would the action loiter. Warships struck their brazen beaks together. A Grecian man of war began the charge. A Phoenician ornamented stern was smashed. Another drove against another. First, the floods of Persians held the line, but when the narrows choked them, and rescue hopeless, smitten by prows, their bronze jaws gaping, shattered entire was our fleet of oars. The Grecian warships, calculating, dashed round and encircled us. Ships showed their belly. No longer could we see the water, charged with ships' wrecks and men's blood. Corpses glutted beaches and the rocks. Every warship urged its own anarchic route, and all who survived that expedition, like mackerel or some catch of fish, were stunned and slaughtered, boned with broken oars and splintered wrecks. Lamentations, cries possessed the open sea, until the black eye of evening, closing, hushed them. The sum of troubles, even if I should rehearse them for 10 days, I could not exhaust. Rest content. Never in a single day so great a number died.
Alas, the sea of troubles breaks in waves on the Persians and barbarian tribes.
But what we've told would scarcely balance woes untold. Misfortune came upon them which swung the beam to weigh them double these.
But what greater hatred could fortune show? What misfortune came upon the soldiers swinging the beam of troubles to greater woes?
All the Persians, who were in nature's prime, excellent in soul, and nobly bred to grandeur, always first in trust, met their death in infamy, dishonor, and in ugliness.
Oh, wretched am I! Alas, what doom destroyed them?
There is an island fronting Salamis, small, scarce an anchorage for ships, where the dancer Pan rejoices on the shore. Whither Xerxes sent those men to kill the shipwrecked enemies who sought the island as a refuge. Easily, he thought, the Grecian arms would be subdued. He also bid them rescue friends. He conned the future ill. For when a god gave Greeks the glory, that very day, fenced in bronze, they leaped ashore and drew the circle tight at every point. Mewed up, we could not turn. Many rattled to the ground whom stones had felled, and arrows shot by bowstring, others killed. And in a final rush, the end, they hacked, mangled their wretched limbs, until the life of all was gone. Xerxes mourned, beholding the lowest depths of woe, who seated on a height that near the sea commanded all his host, his robes destroying and his lamentations shrill, dispatched his regiments on land. They fled orderless. Now you may lament their fate, added to the others summed before.
O hateful deity, how the Persians you deceived! Bitter was the vengeance which my son at famous Athens found. She could not sate her appetite with those whom Marathon had made the Persians lose. For these my son, exacting as requital punishment, or so he thought, called on himself so numerous a train of woes. Tell me what ships escaped. Where are they now? Can you clearly tell?
Who captained the remaining ships set sail before the wind, fleeing in disorder. But the army perished in Boeotia. Some, in want of precious water, were racked with thirst, and some, gasping emptily on air, crossed to Phocis, Locria, the Malian Gulf, where Sperchian waters kindly drenched the plain. And thence Achaia and Thessaly received us, wanting. There, most died in hunger and in thirst. Both we felt. To Magnesia and Macedonia we came, the river Axius, the reedy marsh of Bulba, the mountain Pangion in Thrace. There, in the night, a god roused winter out of season. All who had believed the gods were not sang their chants, to earth and sky obeisance made. When we ceased invoking gods, we tried waters that had turned to ice. Whoever started before Apollo's rays spread and scattered in the sky, he was saved. But soon the brilliant orb of sun, its rays of flame, melts the river's midst. One falls upon the next. Happy he whose life was first cut short. The rest did make their way but painfully through Thrace. Not many fled to her hearth and home. Thus the city of Persians may lament, regretting the loss of youth. Truthful I have been, but omit many of the woes a god has hurled against the Persians.
Oh, toilsome deity,
How
heavily
you leapt upon
all
Persia.
Persia.
Alas! Woe is me, the host destroyed! O bright night spectacle of dreams, how clearly you foresaw my woe, and you, my counselors, how poorly judged. But yet as you counseled thus, first to the gods I'll offer prayer, and then to earth and dead I'll come to offer gifts, a sacrificial cake. I know I pray for what is done and gone, but a brighter fortune in time to come may there be. And you, worthy of trust, exchange worthy counsel. My son, should he return before my own return, comfort and escort him home. I fear to woes he'll add more woe.
Oh,
royal Zeus destroy
multitudinous,
proud host of Persian men,
And the cities of Susa.
and of Ecbatana, concealed in the darkness of grief.
Many with delicate hands,
Rending their veils,
drenching their breasts,
swollen with tears,
sharing their woe,
Ladies of Persia,
saw softly are weeping.
Desiring each him to behold.
Wedded but lately, couches forsaking.
Soft as their coverlets.
Youth was voluptuous.
Their sorrows insatiate woe.
And I the pious song recite.
Doom of the gone.
Woe upon woe.
Woe.
Now all Asia.
Desolate, void, sighs lament. Xerxes led.
Alas.
Xerxes lost.
Woe, woe.
Woe.
Xerxes heedless, all discharged.
With ocean argosies.
Why was Darius so long from harm?
Archery's captain of citizens. Loved Zeus's lord.
Armies.
Navies.
Lazuli eyed.
Linen winged.
Warships led.
Oh, woe. Warships rammed destructively.
By Grecian arms.
Scarcely escaped was the leader alone.
So we have heard in the Thracian plains. Bitter ways. They have the first death.
Alas.
Left by necessity.
Woe.
Crowned by Cretan shores.
Oh.
Moan in your anguish.
Cry to the heavens your grief.
Oh.
Wail long weeping, mournful cries.
Torn in the sea swirl.
Alas.
Mangled by voiceless.
Oh.
Fish of the unstained sea.
Oh.
Houses deprived grieve.
Sunless.
Sunless.
To heavens their grief.
Oh. Elders mourning.
Hear all woe.
Woe.
They throughout the Asian land no longer Persian laws obey.
No longer lordly tribute yield, exacted by necessity.
Nor suffer rule as suppliants, to earth obeisance never make.
Lost is the kingly power.
Nay, no longer is the tongue imprisoned kept, but loose are men.
When
Loose the yoke of powers bound to ball their liberty.
But Ajax'
Ajax'
isle,
isle,
spilled with blood, its earth, and washed round by sea, holds the remains of Persia.
My friends, whoever's wise in ways of evil knows how, when a flood of evil comes, everything we grow to fear. But when a god our voyage gladdens, we believe always that fortune's never-changing wind will blow. As my eyes behold all things as fearful visitations of the gods, so my ears already ring with cureless songs. Thus consternation terrifies my sense. Therefore I departed from the palaces alone on returning, unaccompanied by chariots, by pomp and ceremony. To the Father of my Son I bring propitious offerings, libations for the dead, a milk-sweet draught of sacred kine unblemished, and resplendent liquors of the honey-working bee with liquid droplets of a maiden stream are mingled, and this elixir of an antique vine whose mother is the wild fields, and golden green the fruit of fragrant olive trees, always flourishing their leafy age, and plated flowers, children of the fecund earth. My friends, recite your chants and threnodies. Recall Darius, daemon over these libations to the dead, sepulchral honors which I lavish on the nether gods.
O Queen of the Persians, to the dark chambers libations pour.
While kindness imploring of the gods, the conductors, we offer prayer.
Ye sacred divinities, Earth and King Hermes, conduct him to light up from the dead, who alone of all mortals, a remedy knowing, may show us the end.
Hearest thou, blessed King, equal to a god?
As I proclaim now, chantings unpleasant, barbarous, mournful, clear and diverse.
Miserable sorrows thou shalt cry out.
Below, dost thou hearken?
Earth and the other gods, leaders of dead, glorious demon.
Loved is the man.
Him let us arise thence, God of the Persians, Susa his mother.
Send up the men who never surpass the Persian land buried.
Loved is the man, loved
his tomb, hiding his loving ways.
Adonius,
conductor,
would that Adonius send Lord
Darius alone.
Never by war wasted his men, never infatuate. Called a God in wisdom, God in wisdom he was, ruled his people well.
Pacha,
ancient
Pacha,
appear on the height
of thy tomb,
raise thy slippered saffron dye, flash the lappets of thy crown.
Father Darius, O hither come!
Here the recent sorrows, O master of masters, appear.
Stygian gloom doth flit about. All the youth hath perished now.
Father Darius, O hither come! Oh, alas, oh, much lamented by his friends in death, the ships with triple ranks of oars are gone!
Oh, faithful followers, companions of my youth, O Persian counselors, what burdens burdening the city, which in lamentation moans, and makes the plains tremble? And terrified, I saw my wife beside my tomb, and graciously received her offerings, and you lamented, standing near my tomb with cries of resurrection calling piteously. Ascent is not easy. The chthonic deities are more readily received than give, but I, a potentate among them, king. Be quick, that I be unreproached for being late. What recent woe upon the Persians' ways?
I'm shamed to behold thee.
I'm shamed to address thee.
Who was anciently feared.
Since I have risen, obeying lamentations, lengthen not your tale, but speak succinctly, recounting all. Lay aside your reverence toward me.
I tremble to please thee.
I tremble to tell thee.
What is loath to be told?
As an ancient fear obstructs your sense, you, aged consort of my marriage, noble queen, cease your weeping. Tell me clearly. Many woes arise by sea, many come by land, the longer that life is racked.
O king, exceeding mortal happiness by happy fate, how, as long as you beheld the eyes of sun, you spent, how envied. A blessed life like God's, and now I envy you your dying ere you saw this depth of woe. Everything, Darius, you will hear succinctly. Persia is destroyed.
How? A lightning bolt of hunger? Civil strife within the city?
No, but all the hosts destroyed at Athens.
Who among my sons was general? Tell me.
Furious Xerxes, who drained the plain manless.
By foot or warship was his vain attempt.
By both, the double front of doubled hosts.
How did so great an army cross the strait?
Devices yoking Hellas strait, a path afforded.
He accomplished it? To close great Bosphorus.
So it was some god contrived.
Alas, a great divinity deceived his sense.
The evil end he made is present to the eye.
What befell them that you thus lament?
The naval host destroyed the landed host.
Thus all the people spears destroyed?
Thus Susa groans desolate.
Alas, the godly host! Alas, defenders!
All the Bactrians destroyed, no youth remains.
Oh, woe, the youth of allies, gone.
Xerxes alone with few, they say.
Perished how? Perished where?
To this joyous bridge they came, the yoke of continents.
He was saved? Can this be true?
Yes, a clear report without dispute.
Alas! The prophecy was quick to act. Zeus hurled against my son its lightning end. While I expected after many years the gods would make an end, but when a man's willing and eager, God joins in. The spring of evils found, my son in ignorance discovered it by youthful pride, who hoped to check the sacred waters of the Hellespont by chains. Just as if it were a slave, he smoothed his way, yoking Neptune's flowing Bosphorus with hammered shackles. Mortal though he was, by folly thought to conquer all the gods and Neptune. Had not my son diseased his sense? I fear my labored wealth will fall prey of conquerors.
Wicked men counseled this, furious Xerxes learned, saying you acquired wealth by spear, while he, in cowardice, played the warrior at home, and multiplied by nothing his ancestral wealth. So often these wicked men reproached him until he did plot his martial way towards Greece.
So the great eternal deed is done! Never had anyone before this made Susa so empty and so desolate, since Zeus our Lord bestowed that honor one man to wield his rod's authority over all Asia, rich in flocks. First was Metis, the leader of the host. Next his son fulfilled the office well, whose reason was the helmsman to his spirit. Third was Cyrus, fortunate, whose rule brought peace to all, and the Lydian people and the Phrygian he acquired, and marched his great might against Ionia. No god resented him, for he was wise. And fourth was Cyrus's son, who shamed his country and ancestral throne, but Artaphernes, gated by his guile and his friends, whose task this was, slew him in his palace. After him, I, willing, drew the lot to rule, and often led a mighty host. But never did I cast so great a woe upon my city. Xerxes, my son, as young in age as sense, ignored my wisdom. Know this well, my comrades old as I, all of us who held these powers, never wrought so many woes.
To what end, dost thou harp on us?
How could we, the Persian people, fare the best?
If you lead no expedition to the land of Greece, not even the Median host be more, for Grecian soil is their own ally.
What dost thou intend by that?
Their own ally.
It starves to death excessive numbers.
But be sure, we'll raise a well-equipped and chosen host.
But even they who now remain in Greece shall find no safe return.
What? Shall not all the hosts return across the Strait of Bella?
Few of many. If the oracles of gods are credited, as we gaze at what is past, no halt prophecy succeeds, but either all or none. If we credit them, he leaves behind his empty hopes persuading chosen numbers of his hosts, who are now stationed where Asopus floods the plain, its rich sap, kind to Boeotia. Here wait them the lowest depths of woe to suffer. Payment for his pride and godless arrogance. They invading Greece felt no awe. They did not hesitate to plunder images of gods and put temples to the torch. Altars were no more, and statues, like trees, were uprooted and torn from their bases in all confusion. Thus their wickedness shall no less make them suffer other woes the future holds in store, and still the fount of evils is not quenched, it wells, and up and it overflows. So great will be the sacrificial cake of clotted gore made by Platea, by Dorian spear. And corpses, piled up like sand, shall witness mute even the century to come, before the eyes of men, that never, being mortal, ought we cast our thoughts too high. Insolence once blossoming bears its fruit a tasseled field of doom, from which a weeping harvest reaped all tears. Behold the punishment of these! Remember Greece and Athens, lest you disdain your present fortune and lust after more, squandering great prosperity. Zeus is the chastener of the overboastful minds, a grievous corrector. Therefore advise him, admonished by reason, to be wise, and cease his overboastful temper from sinning against the gods. And you, Aged mother of Xerxes, go to the palace. Gather up rich and brilliant cloths and go to meet your son, for he, in grief, has rent his embroidered robes to shreds. Gently soothe him with your words. To yours alone he'll listen. Now shall I descend to Nethergloom. Elder counselors, farewell. And though in times of troubles, give daily pleasures to your soul, as wealth cannot benefit the dead.
Alas,
The woes upon us and the woes to come have grieved me hearing them.
O God, how many sorrows move against me. But one torment has the deepest fang, hearing that dishonor folds about my son its robes. But I shall go to gather up adornments and try to meet my son. When evils come on those we dearly love, never shall we betray them.
Oh, alas, oh, what a great and good life was ours, civilly ordered, as long as the aged ruler of all, mild, unconquerable king, equal to God, Darius ruled the land.
glorious arms we displayed, and the bulwarks of custom,
all they did guide.
and returning
From battle, grief had we none.
victors,
Unburdened of all,
happy
and glad, to home again we came.
For many the cities he sat, never crossing the palace, nor leaving his hearth in a rush, at the mouth of the river Strymon, near Thracian places, the islands of Atlas, both cities beyond the Aegean, surrounded by towers, obeyed him our Lord, and who round the broad strait of Hell boasting, and recessed Propontis, and gateway of Pontus Bosphor, the isles along the headland washed by sea, lying close to shore, Samos and Chios and Lesbos the olive planted, Paros and Naxos and Mykonos, and Tenos the neighbor of Andros. The islands in the midst of the sea he ruled, Icarus and Lemnos, Rhodos and Cnidus, and cities of Aphrodite, Pavos and Solus and Salamis, whose founders the cause of these sorrows. Thus the wealthy and populous lands, the Ionian province he ruled, and the strength of his helmeted men was unwearied, innumerable allies. But now their God routed fortunes, overcome by the blows of the sea.
Oh, fateful this doom. Woe is me. Wretched, alas, without augury, how savagely swoops the deity. What will befall me? I swoon beholding these citizens aged. Zeus! Would that fate had covered me with the Persians gone?
Oh, alas, king for a brave host, for the great honor of Persian rule.
for the ranks of men whom a god has slain.
Nations wail their native sons, who by Xerxes sucked out hell.
Many heroes, Persia's bloom, archers, thick array of men, myriads have perished.
Woe, O king of noble strength.
Cruel.
Asia kneels.
Here am I, alas, oh, to my native and ancestral land, woe is the evil I've become.
Loudly shall I send for your return.
An evil omen shout.
An evil practice cry.
A weeping wail of Persian mourners shall I sing.
Send a wail of evil sound. Lamenting and grievous, now fortune again has changed for me.
Mourning, wail, oh, weeping shall I send, in honor of your woes and sea-struck grief.
Again, a wailing filled with
with tears I'll cry.
Ionian Ares spoiled, protected by their ships, their partisan in war, reaping gloomy flats of sea, and demon-hunted shores.
Oh, alas. Oh, alas. Oh, alas. Oh, alas. Oh, alas.
Lament and ask for all.
But where are the others?
Where is thy retinue?
Like Pherodacus,
Susus,
Pelagon.
and Echebatus,
Thomas?
Samis?
Suscanes leaving Agbatana?
The lost I deserted there, who from the ships of Tyre to Salaminian shore vanished and were gone, their corpses pounding stubborn shores.
Oh, alas. But where's Farnucus?
And brave Ariomardus.
Where is Dwelkes, Lord?
Or Lacey's Grand.
Memphis.
Thoribus?
And Massistries.
Artembares?
And here's hysterectomies.
These I ask you about.
Oh, woe! Who all beholding ancient, hateful Athens gasp on shore, wretched in a single sweep of oar.
Did you leave that Persian there? Your trusted eye?
Who made his town by myriads? Botanicus' son, Alpistus, of Sesames. Great Parthus and Oberis you left behind.
Oh, miseries. You tell of the woes on woes.
Oh, alas, woe! The magic wheel of longing for my friends you turn, you tell me hateful sorrows. Within my frame my heart resounds. Resounds!
For the others still we long.
The leader of
10,000 men.
Of Mardia.
Xanthes.
Ancares,
and Deaxes,
and Arsamis, masters of horsemen,
and Adacus,
In Lithymus.
and Holmes, who never slaked his spear. I see about the moving tents.
I see no followers.
Gone are the hunters of the pack.
Gone, alas, famous.
Holmes,
Xanthes.
Oh, woe!
Woe, oh gods, who brought out these unexpected woes.
How
baleful gleams the eye of doom.
Struck by woes perpetual.
Struck by
A
recent.
recent woe.
Woe,
Alas, alas.
Met the men of war without success. How luckless was the Persians' war.
Alas, in so vast an army I am struck.
What is not lost, thou curse of the Persians?
Behold, the remnants of my power.
I see.
In this receptacle,
What is this that is saved?
a treasure of arrows.
How few!
From so many.
We are reft of protectors.
Greeks
Greeks stand firm in combat.
Alas, too firm. I scan an unexpected woe.
You mean the host?
Routed and broken?
My garments I rent at my woe.
Alas,
Oh,
woe.
And even more than woe.
Double and
triple the woe.
Painful to us, but to enemies joy.
And
that was our power.
I am stripped of escorters.
See doom stripped us of our friends.
Weep, weep, weep for the woe, and homeward depart.
Alas, oh woe, misery.
Shout antiphonal to me.
To woe be gone, woeful gifts of woes.
Raising a cry, join together our songs.
Alas, oh woe!
Woe upon woe.
Woe. Hearing this calamity.
Oh, I am here.
Sweep, sweep, sweep with the oar and groan for my sake.
Weep, alas, woe is me.
Shout antiphonal to me.
My duty is here.
Oh, Master.
Lord,
Lift up your voice in lamenting now. Oh woe, alas, oh woe, woe upon woe.
Black again the blows are mixed.
oh, with the groans.
Beat your breast and cry Mysian songs.
Woe upon woe.
Tear your whitened hair tightly clenched.
Tightly clenched,
plaintive,
piercing cry,
and so I shall.
Full fold garments with strength of hand rend.
Whoa!
Pluck your hair and pity the host.
Tightly clenched, plaintive.
Drench your eyes.
And so
I weep.
Shout antiphonal to me.
Alas.
Oh,
Wretched. Homeward depart.
oh, woe.
Alas.
Through the city lamentation.
Lament,
Meant. Indeed.
Softly stepping, moan.
O Persian,
land in hardness set.
Oh, woe. In triple banks of oars. Oh, woe upon woe, in Argoses destroyed.
we
We shall escort thee
with
with mournful
lament.
lament.
Blackout.
I'm so sorry. I want to hear here's how it sounds though with talking over Dave with the splash.
But I like it a lot.
She was nasally shushing us.
Everybody!
Anything from you?
Nothing from me. Just make sure to keep bringing your masks and the cloth with the mask so I can actually wipe it.
I think Cameron has a note when you're done, or two.
Other than that, please listen to Cameron Nottingham.
Okay, so great job with the mics today. But the thing we're picking up a little bit is a bit of an inconsistency in the sound. So some of you say lines and it sounds like you're really booming in our ears, and other times it's like we can barely hear you. It's very quiet, but we know you're there. And that's a problem, one, with the microphones. We're going to play around with position tomorrow, so part of that is, just an inconsistency. We're going to play around with position with the microphone. And another part of that is just always be super directional about where you're speaking. Turn towards the microphone when you're speaking. Speak at it clearly and loudly. Not screaming, but loudly enough that you are clearly directionally speaking at the microphone, and that will help a lot with those kinds of problems. Yes.
Clarification. Is it more often a problem with peaking or not getting enough volume?
Not getting enough volume.
Okay,
It's
got
too quiet. We have not, I have them all leveled, so you can almost never be too loud. I don't want to say that and have it not be true, but you can almost never be too loud.
Okay.
Because I have them capped, so they should just equalize if you go too loud. So.
Okay.
But I need you to get there first. I would love to have to tell you to not be quiet.
Great, thank you all. Some really, I think, some growth tonight in it as a whole, and some individual pieces. It's clipping along. I'll have some individual notes for you guys to look out to. I'm gonna give it another listen or two. But yeah, really good, y'all. We'll hit it again tomorrow. We'll add a few more sound cues, and then do it once more, certainly tomorrow. And yeah, I think that's it for now.
You're dismissed.
Thank you, dismissed.
Thank you, dismissed.
Go home.
Can we at least take down that one that's hanging and the one by the door over there, please? This one? Yeah. Thank you, Melise.
Thank you. That one's up there, Sam. You drive a hard bargain.
David, generally good on the sound.
That generally kind of hurts, but thank you.
What do you mean?
I don't know. You could have just said pretty good.
Like all of them collectively, I thought.
Okay.
For the first time through.
Thank you.
Sounds good when I'm listening to the mic. What was, did we figure out what that little? Is there some noise in here that you heard?
Yeah, the door was making weird sounds
some
occasionally.
Sounded like a clock in the background or something.
I think maybe because the doors are bolted. Oh, that might work.
Gabby, if you can start moving
Hey, we
all
should
of
cover
these.
good
you guys-
vibrations with singing bowls.
I don't like them in there.
Overall good.
Gabby, chill.
Was it not closed fully or was it closed that was the problem?
I don't really know.
I'm putting my props.
I will try bolting it next time and see if that helps.
Okay. Those sound great.
I want to make the bowl noise.
You make the what?
This one.
I feel like towards the end I was actually, like, but I'll hear, I have it tomorrow, like,
Yeah.
I got this thing on my phone.
Get your bowls. Yeah, did you hear me say we should do
Did
good
I just plug
vibrations?
in with you and this?
I did not register that.
Good, good, good.
Hey, that's a song.
No, it's not.
Oh shit, my bad. My bad. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, the people who speak directly into the mic need to deal with it. But